Bans have been sent out for exploits from last week. Shang-Chi has been nerfed. Community Choice Arena doesn't exactly hit the right notes. And should Kabam have watch ads for units in game? Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to the Marvel Contest of Champions news for Wednesday. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe with post notifications on, or come back to the channel each and every day because we'll be posting lots of new content, including some stuff for Act 7.2 later on. And make sure later on tonight you're over on Twitch because we're going to be streaming that bad boy. But before we go anywhere, massive thank you to those that support the channel here as YouTube members. Also, Patreons, you're on screen now. Thank you so much for keeping the love, keeping the channel supported and keeping it going. Thank you. Also, over on Twitch, if you don't know, I predominantly do a lot of my live stream on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. And if you have Amazon Prime, you can give a free Twitch sub. And how to do that will be explained if you come on by tonight for the Act 7.2 stream. Also, those that give tier 1 subs, donations, bits, and all that lovely stuff over on Twitch, thank you so much. Okay, let's kick off things and talk about the new Community Choice Arena. Now, this dropped at the start of the week, but the biggest problem with this particular arena is the amount of points you've got to invest into it. Especially at a time that comes where we're not really happy with the extent of how the arenas are kind of put together. And I would say that if you are saying to yourself, oh, hang on, I've got to invest 1.6 mil into this arena. And yes, there's a case that lasts 5 days more as of the point of recording this video. But the fact is, wouldn't you prefer investing that time and effort into other arenas? Yes, you can use other champions, you can use 6 stars, but why would you? Especially if you're doing grinds elsewhere. I think it just comes at a point where it's a very sore subject when it comes to arenas, and having a situation of going from, okay, we were at 5 arenas originally and going, right, well 3 are streamlined, and now we've just gone back to a situation of 5 arenas. It kind of leaves a very sour taste in the mouth of the community when looking at this. I think for me, I'll probably end up just using something like 3s and 4 stars once I'm done with the Summon and Trial Arena. And maybe if it's a case that, again, time-wise, I may have time over the weekend. If I don't, the problem is I do want my vote to count, but at the same time, the amount of effort in order to obtain it is just like, I kind of would like to get units and other stuff from other arenas a bit more than I would do that. And that says a lot under this current circumstance. You can just go to show like the extent of like what people think about this particular arena with like the Rate the Community Choice Arena. Okay, so is it a 1 out of 10, a 10 out of 10? View the results. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's an overwhelming 1 out of 10. Yes, a 1 out of 10. 68% of people voted. 170 people voted to say about Rate the Community Choice Arena. So yeah, I think again it comes at a very kind of odd time. Yeah, it's just like, it's a time and investment. I appreciate there's some people that would be interested in doing it, but with so much other content and as well the current state of it, it's kind of on a sore subject for a lot of players, unless you are willing to put in your 6 stars for the situation. Next up, and let's talk about watching ads to get units. This was an interesting take and a nice little discussion that went every which way when it came to this subject. Now, as the original post says, Command's revenue over the last quarter is down. While there's likely multiple reasons for this, like, yep, global pandemic, it still has me concerned about the future of MCOC. It kind of leads the original post to say, like, okay, well, other mobile games have, you watch an ad, you get something back from it, like a bit of, I don't know, yeah, just volume of premium currency within the game. In this case, units. I don't know if it's one of these situations to kind of like be too worried about MCOC. At the end of the day, if MCOC dies, it dies. That's just it. Mobile games and games in general, they go, they die, and then new Marvel games, new mobile games, new whatever games come up, and they are, you know, hot topic. 7 Deadly Sins has proven that, and I think that Marvel Future Revolution will be that game. It's a game that I've been covering on this channel from a point of like its inception, and as well, you know, when it's released, I'm going boom, just ham into it because it interests me as a retired World of Warcraft player and also a fan of open world type stuff. This interests me a lot. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But down to the core subject of this particular post, and yeah, it's like the idea of watching. I don't think this would ever be a thing. I mean, look, players don't like the idea of it in any case, but it's in other mobile games. But it's not to a point of going like Marvel mobile games. From what I gather, based on the licensing and based on the way that Marvel works and Disney works, it's a conflict of interest to have other types of advertisements in these particular Marvel games. So if they were to do something like this, what I'm giving you an example is like it's saying, okay, we have Marvel Contest Champions, we have an advert for a DC game, a competing streaming service like Netflix or HBO Max, which would be a conflict of interest based on what is on this particular app. So I just don't think that would ever be a case. I would never think that any game would go out. I don't think Marvel Future Fight, Marvel Strike Force, Marvel Battle Lines when it was here, Marvel Super War and Marvel Duels, I don't think any of them run anything when it comes to these ads, and it's like maybe that's just down to the way, again, things are licensed and conflicts of interest. But yeah, it's bad enough having the little kind of like crystal, as soon as you finish the crystal, like, oh, do you want to form this catalyst for X amount of units? It's like, no, I don't. Why? Don't send me this stuff. I need to opt out of this. How do I opt out of this? But yeah, I just don't think it's the case. A lot of people have debated. It's like 4 pages long. Lots of debate. If you want to get involved, put it in the comment section. What do you think about this kind of stuff? Or as well, come to the thread and have your say. Next up, and bans. So I've been hearing a lot about bans from different types of subjects, whether or not this is something that's attributed to the situation of people sharing each other's accounts, maybe buying accounts from people, maybe even kind of using something of a mod or a hack. There's a little bit of a fine line between what Kabam are looking into and what they ban, what they don't. Because at times you can feel like they're kind of like randomly, not attacking, but they're randomly kind of pinpointing something that they want to highlight to ban this week. And that's the thing, over the weekend it was a case of people got in contact with me with bans, but I'm hearing that there could be the now and there's only a slim amount of people that abused the power gain exploit of the previous week. Now with this going in, it meant that yes, we had a hotfix, but the bans were starting to be kind of like coming out, and I think it's a case like we're seeing a lot of this now, that people are being banned for that particular exploit. So if you're wondering why you have been banned in the last 24 to 48 hours, it's probably either to do with that or to do with something else. You naughty, naughty people, whatever you've been up to. So I would urge players to be very careful about the way that they use their device. If you've got something of an app running, even if it's something to say, I don't know, a phone boosting app, make sure that it is good with running Marvel Contest of Champions, and as well find out whether or not something like that would cause a red flag. Doing a support ticket to say, hey, I'm running this phone boosting app, or you know, look, I'm trying to like be as kind of like good as possible to people, because there are going to be people that run mods, run bots, run just multiple accounts, or kind of like they're using other people's accounts and they're sharing details. Look, just don't do that and your account will be fine. But if you are somebody that is running something that you're like, oh, I'm not quite sure if this app would be kind of like good as a third-party software, kind of like would it red flag stuff with Kabam, it's best to check that out first before kind of before going anywhere, so you don't have situations like this. Okay, now it's time to talk about the Shang-Chi nerf. So according to here, recently an unwanted playstyle has surfaced using Shang-Chi's SP1 attack, allowing him to stun his opponent indefinitely. In order to make sure Shang-Chi's intended fast-paced gameplay isn't overshadowed, we have decided to make an adjustment to Shang-Chi's special 1 attack, ensuring that he's still functional as awesome as always, while preventing him from resorting to stun locking his opponents, which, let's face it, a lot of people were kind of like finding. But what are Kabam planning to do? So currently, if he discontinues landing his attack, this attack or striking into his block will perform the last Wushu strike used with equal potency. If no Wushu strike has been used, the pinpoint strike is performed. The new thing changed is landing his attack or striking into a block will perform the last Wushu strike used with equal potency, excluding the pinpoint strike. If no Wushu strike has been used, the cleansing strike is performed. Yeah. Okay, so it's now live, and it says we have received all your feedback on this. Wish to let you know that our main aim while exploring options for adjusting this in this case was to cause the least amount of disruption to Shang-Chi's overall gameplay, as we are fully aware of how fond you are of him. We did explore a few options, including some of that were mentioned in the feedback, and still concluded that this change was the most reasonable and least disruptive to Shang-Chi's skills overall. So we hope that makes sense and gives you some extra assurance that we have given this a lot of thought. So yeah, and it goes on. The whole situation about playstyle and maximizing it can be seen on screen right now. So as Terra says that the combo medium, light, medium, medium, light, 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 medium, and I'm not going to read out the rest, but it's like that's the process of kind of like keeping this particular span going of stunlock, and how that it came about, and at the same time the extent of like, is this a bit OP, is this not, but it brings up and it throws up several other things as well. Number one, it seems like as soon as these champions go live, and even with like being the CTP, we turn into quality control for Kabam and the champions, which I know in some ways Kabam say that that's valuable, but it's like, I didn't sign up to be quality control. When you go and buy something, especially when you kind of like go to grind something in game, you grind for it as it's somewhat intended, and that's the thing, you kind of rely on the company to deal with the situation of delivering something as efficiently and as effectively as possible. Yes, it was caught very early, and that's good to a degree, but then it's just annoying that these situations happen more regularly. We had it with Silver Centurion recently, and I think we had it the month before that. Definitely champions have been doing similar things in the past as well. But no, just at this point, it's like it's very frustrating that this is a more regular occurrence with these champions either overperforming, slightly exploiting, and then have to be changed as a result. And we end on slightly more chipper news to let you know that apart from it being X 7.2 launch day later on, it's also Stealth Suit Spidey and Immortal Abomination that are coming into the arenas. I'm going to do a similar style as I did before, which if you don't know, it's kind of like this. That's similar to the Shang-Chi and Falcon one. And my predictions for this is that I'm going with 90 mil for Stealth Suit Spidey 6-star, and the 5-star version 35 mil. Immortal Abomination 70 mil, that's a 6-star, and then the 5-star 35 mil. Just to kind of let you know as well, all predictions will be on screen right now, so you can see the predictions down below. Those are the predictions. They're on the screen right now. Check them out in your faces and all that stuff, and we'll see whether or not they come true by the end of the week when it comes to Sunday. But I'm sure a lot of players will probably be doing Act 7.2 if they are doing that. If not, they'll be grinding out for these champions. But we'll see. It'll probably be a lot lower results, but we'll see what happens on Sunday. And there we go. That's been the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Wednesday. Thank you very much for watching. See you later on in the live stream for 7.2. Bye-bye.